We're going to do a demonstration of gua sha. This is a form of thrasana to irritate the skin. We're going to be working on the back of the neck here to release the neck. I'm using this gua sha tool, and then before I start, I'm using a little oil. So you don't want to do it on dry skin, it would be too irritating. I'm just applying that oil to the back and the sides of her neck that I'm going to work on. If it starts to get too dry in the middle of the treatment, you can apply some more oil on. And then once I've applied the oil, I'm holding the gua sha tool in my hand, and then I'm just going to start to vigorously rub like this. As you're doing this, you'll notice the skin might start to get a little bit red. So once the area's gotten red, that means you're done with that area. You can kind of move on to the next area. So for anyone who has intense neck, shoulder tension, headaches that are in the back of the head here, this is also good for relieving a cold. So you can see how the skin is starting to turn a little bit red here. Get that close up. So this is kind of nice when you feel the cold is about to start, the onset of a cold, but it hasn't turned into one. And if you do this technique, it'll boost up your immunity and it'll prevent that cold from flaring up. You guys see that redness? Mm-hmm. So, especially for someone who has a stiff neck, if you do this, usually within a couple minutes, it'll release and they'll get their full range of motion. You can test their full range of motion before. So gua sha is just an excellent TCM technique that does thrasana. It irritates the skin. So we can use this in Marma therapy on any area of the body, but the neck is one of the most common areas that we use this technique. But if someone has, let's say, back tension, a blockage where there's some knots in the muscles, then doing this in that area can help to relieve it. So it's definitely a vigorous stimulation. And so I would continue to do this till I get that same coloration, that redness on all areas and on both sides. How are you feeling, Martha? Do you have any feedback how it feels?
Like relaxed.
Relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any tightness in your neck before? I forgot to ask.
Yes.
So this is great for relieving it.
Yeah.
So this is really easy to do. You don't need a medical license. You don't need to know anatomy. It's so easy to do this at home for your spouse or your kids, or it's a little bit hard to do this technique on yourself. So you need someone else to do it, to really be able to get in deep there. You guys see how that redness is a little bit more uniform now? So I'm just kind of going back and forth from side to side, making sure there's some even stimulation on both sides. Good. You can just get a close-up there of the neck. And just kind of see the after effect of the stimulation, how that redness is spreading in all these areas. So that's our demo of gua sha.